Planting time here in the food forest. We have reached our final frost date, folks. It is Mother's Day. It is time to plant everything. Let's go. These are Murasaki sweet potatoes. Murasaki simply means purple in Japanese, and these are indeed a purple variety of sweet potatoes. The seed company I ordered them from sent them to me a little bit early. It's not their fault because the internet says that our last frost date is in April, and it is not in late April. Everybody around here knows you don't plant till Mother's Day, so it's not the seed company's fault. It's just the best information that the internet had, and so I've been keeping them alive in water, and now we're planting them. If you've been following along with the tomato drama that was happening here, you'll know that my first crop of tomatoes that I tried to sprout from seed failed, and so these are my second crop. If you're interested in learning more about the tomato failure, I will definitely link it above. But I'm really happy with the sprouts that I replanted. Many of them had 100% germination rate. Not all of them. These are the green prints. They only got 2. No big deal because these seeds were 8 years old. So many of them did great though. These are my Tennessee Gold that I named for a variety that crossed in my own yard. I only got one Mr. Stripey though, so oh well, we're gonna have one, maybe. Overall though, I'm really happy with the sprouting that happened, and even though they're smaller plants than I really want to be putting in the ground at this time of year, it is what it is, and we'll still get tomatoes. This area here between 2 of my apple trees does not have a perennial in the center of them like most of my sections do, so I've decided to do 3 of my larger tomatoes here. I'm going to do 1 of the Stupus, which is a red tomato, my only Mr. Stripey, which is, I believe, yellow and red striped, and then coming around to the Dad Sunset, which is a nice big yellow tomato. That section has remained remarkably weed-free, so we're going to put our tomatoes here and just have a little tomato section. Maybe next year we'll plant a perennial. Let's talk a minute about the strategies that I'm using to fill the spaces in between the perennials here. I have a mulberry that's trying to make a comeback. It's this little stick right here. It was hit with frost right when its leaves came out, and it almost died, and we're just going to wait and see if it makes it. But between the mulberry and the cherry, I have a variety of foods. I'm trying to create a polyculture here, and I'm using some pungent things such as onion. These I planted from little onion starts. I also have seeds that I planted just the other day, so there's nothing to look at yet, like this patch of cosmos right next to a brassica. But I have onions next to irises, next to a brassica, next to flowers. So you can see I'm trying to create a polyculture that's good for insects and will also help protect the plants. In this spot right there, I've planted dill, which is a nice pungent herb that tends to attract the predatory insects, which is what we absolutely want. And I've got it right in between a green jalapeno and a yellow jalapeno. Those are then next to a stepping stone that I use to get in between the rows here of the food forest. You got to have your walking paths sometimes. Next to that, I've planted from seed a white marigold. We'll see how it does right next to our asparagus. This is first year asparagus. We're not harvesting any of it. You can see this one's going to bloom. So who knows, maybe we'll get some asparagus seeds. I have another one across the way that's also going to bloom. That's a different breed, so I'm really excited about that. But this is purple asparagus. You can see here I've labeled these with wooden popsicle sticks, and I do that for a couple reasons. One is that when you get far away, you don't really notice them because they blend in with the wood, which is what I want. And second of all, when I'm done with them, they can just go right back into the ground. Right here I have a Space Saver cucumber, which is a bushing cucumber, next to a couple poblanos that are still small, but looking good. Those are directly next to a small little potato patch. And then I have a couple cauliflower plants underneath this small cherry tree. And so that's the polyculture I'm trying to create, where I just have a wide variety of plants. So the insects, there's another part of the polyculture. So the insects, you know, don't have all their favorite foods in one spot, and the plants can support and protect one another in this space. And I've been taking that tactic throughout the whole food forest. Today I am planting out the area between these two pear trees. I have an Asian pear over here and a Bartlett pear over here, and I'm planting out the area in between. It already has some strawberries in it, some irises, some rhubarb. I've just put in some cayenne pepper, and I'm going to be putting in some tomatoes as well. The tomatoes that I'm planting in between the two pears are called Principe Borghese. I sprouted these from seed. This is a botanical interest seed, just if you're interested. I'm not sponsored or anything. But these are very important to me as a staple crop because these particular tomatoes are bred for drying. And it's very easy when you're in the midst of summer and you're just harvesting all the stuff that you're growing. It's nice to be able to have something you can just chop and throw in a dehydrator, and it doesn't have to be a canning project. So I'm planting these in between the pears and probably in between the pear and the cherry as well. My mom bought me these Chinese forget-me-not seeds. This is a perennial, and I'm actually doing a lot of my perennials from seed just to help save the budget. We are a family with a budget. The food forest is a pretty big place, and if I were going to plant all of this instead of from seed, from nursery store buys of plants that are already sprouted and large, it would cost a small fortune. So luckily we have a local grocery store, or well, grocer, it's a family-owned grocer that sells seeds in bulk. So I'm going to be planting these right here in between the strawberries, that globe artichoke that was also started from seed, and the Principe Borghese that I just put in the ground. So they're going to go right about there. Now between these two Principe Borghese here that I've planted, I'm also going to put in some hollyhocks. Now these white hollyhocks came from a particularly hardy plant. Back when I lived in California and lived in an apartment, I was walking my dog all the time because I lived in an apartment, and I was walking down the road and there was a house for sale that had a hollyhock, and it was leaning over the sidewalk, and That sucker had not been watered all summer long, and it had still survived and produced seeds and was dropping seeds all over the sidewalk. So I took some seeds, and these are what have sprouted from them. So I'm going to take a couple whites and a couple mixed hollyhocks that I got from a burpee seed packet, and I'm going to plant a couple of these. These are biennials. We won't see any flowers until at least next year, but I wanted to put those in between here so that eventually when the artichokes have come in and there will be some flowers in the middle of them, creating some visual interest, and those will be perennials as well. So let's take a look at what we did here today. I got some little cayenne peppers put in the ground. There they are. A hollyhock, a sage. There's an existing artichoke right there. Put in some Princet Borghese, a couple of the white hollyhocks, another tomato, some forget-me-nots, and a few more cayenne peppers over here by the strawberries. And I just want to emphasize, look, this is a small start, right? From a distance, it doesn't even look like there's anything there. But I just want to encourage you, if you're starting something new in life and your starts look really small and nobody can tell any difference yet, it's okay. This is where we start. We start with the small things. And let me tell you what, we're going to come back here in July and August, and this is going to look like something. And then everyone's going to be able to see the progress. Just like whatever you're trying to do in your life, where right now it doesn't seem like maybe the progress is all that great. But you know what? Just keep on keeping on, because those small starts are where we have to start. And one of these days, it's going to be big.